Hello, this is Metal444 here, and welcome to another video. Now, I'm trying something new this week. I'm gonna upload all 3 DC shows all at once on Friday, tomorrow. I'm gonna do it all as one big episode review thing for all 3 of the shows, because really I don't really have very much time to A, watch the episodes. I mean, it's taken me a long time to do that, and B, make the video. So instead of doing that, I am going to make a little list of the of personally my top 7, because that's all I could think of, comic book movies. Now, bearing in mind I haven't seen many. Well, I'm not going to say I haven't seen many, but I haven't seen specifically Deadpool. I haven't seen that yet, or Civil War. Okay. Because I may be going to see Civil War at the weekend, and Deadpool's just been released on DVD, for me anyway, so I'm going to order that soon, and then I'll watch that. But I didn't get to see it in the cinema, because, you know, I just didn't, circumstances at the time, I couldn't. But anyway, let's get into it. At number 7, I have put AntMan. Now, this film really surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be that good, but I found myself laughing the whole way through, and I think AntMan is kind of an underrated superhero. People always think, "Oh, AntMan, ha ha ha, what a funny superhero!" But like, I really like the movie. I like people who like shrink. That's really weird, but I like the Atom on Legends of Tomorrow, for example, and I really liked AntMan. I think AntMan was kind of like a funnier version of the Atom, not to like poke fun at Atom in Legends of Tomorrow. But he can be a bit annoying at some points, whereas throughout the whole of Ant-Man, Scott Lang was really, really great, really. It was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. And I really can't wait for the sequel as well. Its score on IMDb was 7.4, which is not the lowest on the list, actually, but second lowest. So I think IMDb is kind of like the films, kind of ordering them like I am, sort of. Anyway, on to number 6, I've put SpiderMan or Spider-Man 2. I can't really decide between the two of them. They're both pretty good. Spider-Man, this being the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, not the Amazing Spider-Man. Now, these films are sort of my childhood. These are the films that I grew up watching, because like those were the comic book films that I had back in 2003, 2004. Those are the films that I watched. I didn't because obviously all the big films have come up more sort of like now, being like, as a kid, these are the films that I watched, and I mean, it's just sort of one of those films that I feel you could watch at sort of any age in your life and just enjoy. You can just sort of sit there and just enjoy it. You know, they're much better than Amazing Spider-Man, and I feel Spider-Man 3 definitely not as good. But you know, all films have bad ones. You know, there's always going to be a bad run for every film every now and then. And I mean, yeah, Spider-Man 3 wasn't good, but the first 2 were really great. I really like them. Both of them, in fact, got 7.3 on IMDb, which is the lowest on the list. It's lower than Ant-Man. But they're sort of part of like my childhood. They're part of who I was. And they're just really, really great. Anyway, next at number 5, I have placed Iron Man. Now, I only watched Iron Man like 4 years after it came out. It was on TV once and I watched it. So I didn't really watch the I didn't start getting into comic book films until like I'd seen the Avengers, and I didn't see the Avengers until like 2 years after it came out. Because obviously, when Iron Man came out in 2008, I think, yeah, 2008. Obviously, I was quite young and I couldn't really go see that kind of film, and the whole MCU I couldn't really watch until a much later age. And Iron Man wasn't even the first one that I watched. So although this has actually got a really high rating of 7.9 on IMDb, I thought it was good, yeah, but because I'd seen some of the other films in the MCU, I'd seen the Avengers at this point, it was sort of overshadowed by that. But also, Iron Man is a good starter. It's a great opener for the MCU, but as a standalone film, I feel it doesn't sound as strongly as some of the others. But no, I'm not saying that it's bad. It's a really good film. I really like it. I'd quite happily go back and watch it again. But it's not as good as some of the other ones I've ranked. Now, at number 4, I've put Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Now, I absolutely love this film. It hasn't got as high as Iron Man. It's only got 7.5 on IMDb, but it's it's so good. Like when I first saw it 5 or 6 years ago, 6 years ago now. When I first saw it, I didn't see it in cinemas. I saw it at a scout camp. It was on at a scout camp, and it was just there on like a projector in this room, and I watched it and I found myself laughing the whole way through. And because I like video games, this film sort of appealed to me, and all the jokes were great, and it was just really good to see like a really stellar. Well, it is a comic book movie, and I just love it. It's really, really good. Next up on my list, I've put Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier. Now, this probably will be replaced by Civil War once I've seen it, but I haven't seen it yet, as I said earlier. Now, Captain America 2 is much better than the first one. As also shown by the IMDb, Captain America the first Avenger got 6.8, whereas Captain America 2 got a 7.8. All a whole rating higher. It's not rated as good as Iron Man, but personally, I feel the MCU is really developed by this point, and they've sort of technology's evolved, and the things they do in this film are so much better. Yes, the enemy's a bit bad. Yes, the plot's a bit weird, but the plot in Iron Man's a bit weird. The enemies in all the MCU films are a bit off. But this film was really great. The action was great. I love the action. Like, I don't know if it's just like me liking Captain America more than Iron Man, because Iron Man, yeah, he's funny, but Captain America is just good. Like fighting, he doesn't need any suit to help him. I find that Captain America is a much more fulfilling hero on his own rather than Iron Man, who requires all this money to do his job. Captain America's like the Superman of the Batman. Even though I prefer Batman in DC, I prefer Captain America in Marvel. However, you might be saying then, oh, you must obviously be Team Cap, but I'm not, I'm Team Iron Man, but that's only because I'm not looking at it as, I like Captain America more. I feel that Iron Man and the Sokovia Accords are a good cause. That if I was in the world, that's what I would want to happen. But anyway, yeah, Captain America 2 is a really stellar movie. There's some great action, great fighting scenes in it, because it's not unlike Iron Man, who just shoots lasers. Captain America's one-on-one fighting, hand-to-hand combat, and I feel that's more energetic and better to see on the screen. But anyway, yeah. At number 2, I've put Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I think everyone can probably agree with this placement. Guardians really took the MCU by storm. It's something completely different. It's hilarious at the right points, and it's down to the point at others. And I think it really gets that wherever you go throughout the film. The whole film's great. I've got it on DVD. I've watched it 4 or 5 times because that's how much I like this film. I saw it on a rainy day in the middle of Blackpool, and I could still like it. And that's me going into this without seeing any of the films. I think I'd seen at this point The Avengers and Iron Man, and that was it. Those are the only 2 films. Oh, and Thor, but I thought I saw Thor ages ago. Going into this film sort of blind, not being really a comic book fan, this made me that comic book fan. It was just also like the soundtrack is great, the action's great. It's all really, really good, and I really can't wait for the second one. This should be coming soon. But now onto my number 1 pick, which I think everyone in the whole world can agree on what number 1 is, and that is The Dark Knight. To me, this is a perfect film. Batman in it is perfect. The Joker is absolutely insane, and I don't know how Jared Leto's even going to live up to a sort of like the legacy that Heath Ledger has left behind, because his Joker is so iconic now with the character. I don't think Jared Leto can ever replace that, especially with the failure of Batman v Superman. I don't think he'll ever reach what Heath Ledger was as a Joker. He was just so good. I could watch that film over and over and over. If I could choose one film to watch and repeat for the rest of my life, Dark Knight would definitely, it would be up there as one of the films that I'd watch. I'd say, other than that, Star Wars, maybe, and Lord of the Rings. Those are the 3 films that I would debate over watching for the rest of my life. And it's such a good... every little bit about it is just so good. Two-Face is great, Joker's great, Batman's great. Every character in it is so good. The Joker... like the Joker makes that film. Without the Joker, this film probably wouldn't be as good as it is. Like with Jared Leto's Joker, I'm not judging Jared Leto without even seeing him as the Joker, but I don't think he's going to be able to pull off what Heath Ledger did in this film. It was just so brilliant that he sort of made the whole film. He carried the film on his back, and with his performance lifting the other actors, it just made the film just amazing. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Tomorrow I will be uploading my DC Roundup of the week. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.